Hello, everyone. I am Kim with Abundant Life Tarot, and I am doing my April month in review. I decided to do it in a live format for a couple of reasons. First is it's allegedly easier to just stream and upload, and yeah, we're going to try that. The next is I need to practice doing lives again. I kind of dabbled in and out of doing lives before. I have to practice because I'm doing Tarot-thon 2021 this year. Super excited. So you get to see my face, discuss my month, the things that I was doing or experiencing. And this is also a great topic, to be able to engage with you, to see what you've been up to in the month of April. I know there's been some big things that have been happening for folks. So yeah, feel free to share. I'll try to check the comments as we go, but no guarantees, okay? Because I get a little lost in the conversation sometimes, and I forget that I'm doing live, so I'm going to be practicing that. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and just dive into my favorites. Or this is what I call now the month in review. I've changed the name from favorites a while back, and let me make sure that I can see things like chat, Let me go also on my phone. Don't mind me. Thank you for your patience. Let's go to subscriptions. Do I subscribe to myself? No. Let's see. Oh, there I am. Okay, cool. Let me see the chat. Okay, good. Okay, sorry guys. I didn't sleep very well last night. I've been having super vivid dreams. When I was in the States, I was so busy and got so much lack of sleep. Like it would be an average of 4 to 5 hours a night that I would sleep, that I would then not dream, or at least in my mind, I wasn't dreaming. But now I'm getting better sleep and I'm dreaming, and it sometimes just like wakes me up a little bit. Like, what the hell is going on? What's up with the dreams? So, all right, so let's talk the topics that I like to discuss for my month in review. The first I like to talk about is YouTube. YouTube videos I've watched, YouTube channels that I'm feeling that I watched during the month of April, that I was inspired by, that got me thinking, that got me a little bit hot under my collar. I like to discuss those as well in my favorites type videos. So the topic of discussion that came up in the latter part of April in our tarot community was about the idea of people who are purging decks, or people who only own 1 or 2 decks. People in the other side who are actively acquiring decks and collecting were feeling a certain kind of way about this sudden surge of purge videos. And I'm going to just hi, Jen Science to Soul Tarot and Transformation. Love your name, by the way. Thank you for joining me. I'm just over here, did an impromptu live, is all. So people were talking about in the communities, in the latter part of the month on social media about deck collecting. I know I did a video on it. I do it all the time. For the last year, you all have heard me drone on and on about my feelings about my collection. I still have very much a collection. So I'm in both camps. And so it's just interesting to me to see people go at it on this topic, because it's like, really, where is the debate? Like, everybody is going on their own journey. And I would question a YouTuber if they didn't show their entire part of their journey. For so long, we did do a lot of unboxings. For so long, we did talk about the decks that have come into our collection And that's still going to go on well and beyond this little lover spat we're having in the tarot community. So it's just interesting to me that people are taking offense, and and I do every now and then see this thing where it'll be like, oh well, I've only had 2 decks for my entire time of working with tarot, and I just don't understand. But I never got offended by that. I was like, oh, that's cool. You have 2 decks, and I think that's amazing. And then I have friends who have like 1,000 decks, and I'm like, that's cool. Like I could play with your decks, and like, you know, I won't touch them too much unless you let me. But you know, sharing is caring. You know, like, but I don't have no problems. So it was like, what? Where are we going here? So I made some honorable mention notes here for YouTube channel watching for your viewing pleasure. I watched the Papa Squirrel, Brian's channel, of why I sold almost all of my decks. So I watched his videos there. I saw in the past, you know, that he was purging, you know, I'm in the sale groups or the swap groups. So I saw where he was unloading his collection. Okay, I was like, oh, that's great. And then I was like, wow. And what was coincidental enough, I had recorded a video like earlier that week on a similar topic of what I was doing. But I have not did anything as drastic as Papa Squirrel. For me, I've approached my collection more like on a meandering journey. It's got its ups and downs and highs and lows, and it you know, it's still sitting at probably 170 decks. So far cry from, I think he said he got his down to 12. I'm very transparent and open about that, but I'm also in a place personally in my life where it's not feasible to have a bunch of decks. It's just not feasible, okay? I now move from a very dry climate to a very humid climate. Moving around, I have to move around these decks and make sure that moisture isn't like messing with them. I'm kind of paranoid about my decks that way. And then there's this whole slew of decks that I'm probably never going to use. Does it make sense for me to hold on to them? So everybody has a personal reason why their deck buying ebbs and flows and changes. And so I wanted to give people who were going through those ebbs and flows content that they could relate to. I made plenty of content for those who are creating or a bigger collection for themselves, those who are just starting out on their journey with getting decks. But now I wanted to also hold space for those who may be purging for whatever reason they're purging. And it was never any intent for me to judge. I always say that in every video I do on this. It's like, I can't judge. I'm not going to judge. It's not my place to judge. I want to be a person of support wherever you are in your journey. Just looking out at the comments here. So let's see. Yeah, Jen, I agree with you. Because I'm personally in a space right now where it's just not really feasible for me to have my large deck collection, I'm in a place where I need to watch some of those videos. Do I every now and then watch unboxings or deck focused videos? Yes, I do. But it is now not with the intent to just like, I'm going to go ahead and add this deck to my collection. It's more out of curiosity. It's just different. And, you know, it's nice that there are creators who are making videos not just for the acquisition part of the collection. Hello, Kristen. Thank you for joining. Yeah, so I'm here for the death years. I did it, you guys. I'm sorry if I talked about it, but it was a big part of my 2020, right? Like while everybody else was buying, I was trying to refrain from buying, not even realizing what was in store for me, which is this big move that I made. And it now all makes divine, perfect sense, and I'm grateful for it. But I have a dilemma with my large deck. And these are the things that I like to talk about with people. So when they start going willy-nilly buying decks, well, they can think about where they might be, you know, and maybe you don't like to think about the future. Maybe you don't like to have your money go elsewhere. I don't know. That's your personal journey. But I know for me, this is mine and I wanted to share it. So I hope I don't offend people when I'm talking about it. I'm not trying to offend, just trying to share and inform. Oh, thank you, Jen. Thank you so much. You said, let me see. I know there's a way that I can like wash it. Oh, look. See, I'm practicing. Practicing YouTube. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. Yeah, it feels good to share. I want to show you my full authentic expression of what's going on with me. And will you probably see an unboxing in the future on my channel? Probably. You probably will. But will there be more other kind of content this year and going forward? Yes, because that's my area of focus now. And I just don't think it's responsible for people who did, unboxings and then all of a sudden it's like, if they've shifted and changed, but they don't at least let their audience know what was going on. They don't have to, but that's just how I roll. I share that with them. I don't see any harm with that. I don't see any harm with changing gears. It reminds me of when we were getting all up in arms about people converting. And I know why I got mad when people would like convert to Christianity and then all of a sudden start like going in on people saying I'm going to hell and all this stuff. So yeah, I can relate to being like, oh, that really bugs me. But at the end of the day, that's their journey. And if they want to talk about it over there on their channel, that's their business. I don't have to watch. And that's what it is. But I don't know. Oh, hello from Belgium. Wow, that makes me, that's cool. Hello here from the DR, from the Dominican Republic. Yay, thank you all so much for joining me and for those who watch the replay later. And I'll try to be concise and keep going, right? I got all hung up on my soapbox on that. There's really no soapbox. It really honestly is, we should just be able to hold space for all of the different experiences going on because we're all on the same team. We all want a beautiful deck to hold and to shuffle through and to work with for clients or for readings for ourselves, to look pretty on our shelves. And when it's time to shrink our collection because maybe we're downsizing to a smaller home or we want to travel, then that's A-okay too. Maybe our shift is focused to a different type of metaphysical magic. Who knows? There's space for everyone in this community is my point. But to that end, I listed in the description box of this video, different videos that are kind of touching upon this hot topic in the month of April in our community. So I mentioned Papa Squirrels. Then we had, I just watched this morning, Esoteric Mystic in Books. She did a Tarot Purge Taboo video. And then we have In Defense of Deck Collecting by Tell Raven Tarot. So I had kind of like a little smattering of like different videos of what was being discussed. I don't know what was being discussed in Facebook groups because I kind of hop in and out of those. But I know that there may probably have been conversations that maybe I'm not privy to, but honestly, I'm like, I just don't understand why we're infighting on this topic. All right, so moving, hello, Lynn. Greetings, my love. We share the same time zone and we are very near each other. I do plan to make a visit. And Witchy Woo Woman, thank you for joining me. Okay, so she's saying, hold on, let me see if I can do this easily. She was like, I was just listening to the videos and the curating your deck collection course, and I came over here and you're live. Look at that. That was like, I feel like going live today. It was like synchronistic, and I never go live. I never go live because I'm like, oh, it's too much, but I need to get over that, especially because the next topic of discussion is Tarothon. So I was asked to join in on the Tarothon 2020, which is happening May 30th. And you probably saw that I put the promo video, I think it was yesterday, I can't remember, days of blending. So I'll be hosting a hour segment, and I'm excited about it. I'm like, yay! So I have to start getting comfortable here. I gotta find me some mods. I gotta like learn how to like multitask and like it, but it's gonna be great. I'm looking forward to it. So thanks for being my little lovely test pit peeps. Like, oh, let's see. Oh, hello, Lynn. Let's see. Oh, Jen's Balanced Tarot is here. Good to see you. This is the fabulous. Thank you for saying you love seeing me live. She is now the host for this year for Tarothon. So it's going to be kicked off on Jen's channel, and I'm so excited. You do so much for the community, and that you just graciously took this on as well. I was just like blown away. So I'm in deep gratitude, Jen. Thank you. Because yeah, it makes me feel comfortable. Like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and there's a beautiful familiar face right there leading the way. So she says, "Hey Kim, I love seeing you live. I'm trying to listen with one ear while interviewing." But wanted to say hello, dear. Thank you for doing that. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, so cool. Hello, Kristen Louise Tarot. Thank you for joining. So, Tarothon. So that's my YouTube discussion of what was on my mind in April for YouTube matters. I've moved a little bit away from some of my gossip reality YouTubers. God, they're so drama filled. It's so funny, but you talk about comedy. It's like watching these like mega like YouTubers. I mean, we're talking about people who have like 350,000 subscribers and stuff, and I'm like, it's a whole nother segment of YouTube. It's pretty interesting. But I digress. All right, so I'm just gonna mention books. Oh no, I'm skipping one. My random goodies for April. So yeah, totally random, but necessary. So some of you have watched my channel, and you know I'm big on spreadsheets. Like I fell in love with them in like 2017, and like the rest is history. They're like my best friends, but they're so necessary for me right now. I use the spreadsheets for managing the expenses of us building our home here. So it's like necessary. Then, I use it for like my wish list. Just added 1 or 2 decks to my wish list this week, which it had been cold. There's like 40 items on there, but I don't look at it. But then I added a couple this week. So, that's super helpful. I keep track of all my videos that I've recorded. I obviously have a spreadsheet for my business stuff related to my readings that I do, and I have them for my collection. So my tarot decks, my oracle decks, my Lenormand. I was planning on going back to the United States in the summertime, but I keep going back and forth, and the build is, of course, builds, they take a while longer than you ever hoped, which I'm okay with, but whatever. It's probably going to be towards the mid part of the summer that we're moving in, if not the late part. And so I'm like, I don't know if I can go back to the States like I thought. And let me be honest with you guys, this is so sad. I want to see my family. I do. I want to see my family. But there's like 5 crates of tarot decks and oracle decks in Lenormand that are like at my parents' house, and they're so sweet. They're in their formal living room stacked up, and I'm like, I feel bad, and I'm like, I need to go deal with them. I want to visit my family, So when I do go, I plan to stay for a little while with my parents, and I'll just do my virtual readings from my old bedroom. But my mom's got the room filled, my old bedroom, and it's like an office, and so I don't know why they didn't just put them in there, but it would have took. It's a small room. It would have took up the whole room. So they have them in their in their formal living room, I believe. They even told them it's okay to put them in the garage, but they were like, no. So what I have a plan to do, if I don't go back to the States until, I don't know, maybe fall or whatever, whenever I go back. In the meanwhile, I'm going to ask my son's girlfriend, who is also starting to get into card reading and tarot, if she would help me go through, go through the containers. And I'm going to have my spreadsheet because I did not track. This is because I ran out of time moving here, but I didn't track which ones I actually left in containers there. And it's like the OCD in me is driving me crazy. I need to know what those decks are. And I know that I can probably pay her a little bit, or she could take the proceeds from some of the sales of the decks if she would help me list them in on my Facebook group or in the marketplaces. And then whatever deck she really wants, she can have. If there's some I really desire, I'll have her send them to me. So I'm going to use those spreadsheets, though, to help kind of cross-reference and double-check and look at what I really still have in my collection and what has already been sold or given away. But that's thanks to my lovely, handy-dandy spreadsheets. So that's my random goodie, one of my main random goodies for the month. So spreadsheets, y'all. When you start to have a collection, it will help you. And I don't care what y'all say. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. Okay, so the next favorites, did I bring them in? Yes, I did. I'm sipping on them now. Sorry, it's a precarious situation here. When I do tarot-thon, it won't be. I'm going to make sure I have a little table on this side, like my old spot. Can't wait till I settle, you guys. It just feels so unsettled. This kind of makes it feel like home, but not really. Okay, so I've settled in my spirit, though. But it's because I'm a person who likes to decorate and likes to just spread out and make her space her own. And because we knew that we were only staying here temporarily, it just feels like I'm living in somebody else's house. And I don't like that. I don't like that feeling. So let me know if you can relate to that, whether in the chat or in the comments below. So, all right, tea. Y'all, my husband was not pleased with his care. I end up having tea shipped to me because I tried some teas out here, and it's not that they're good, they're great, but this is what used to calm me down for like anxiety and like when I was in the States and when I just wanted to go to bed. I always have my lemon ginger tea, sometimes twice a day, and then for a little nice sweet touch, I have the Tazo Passion Herbal Tea. Yeah. So every now and then I'm going to have these shipped in. They usually ship, I think, is it 6 boxes or 9 boxes? I don't know. But I go through it a lot. And I did try to drink the teas at the little grocery store out here that actually has some of the U.S. brands, but no, not going to work. Not going to work at all. And so I know that's like kind of spoiled, kind of first world-ish, but sorry, I don't have my tea. Okay. All right. So moving on to books. I'm only going to quickly discuss books and move on because one of them is on that shelf and I don't feel like going to get it. They're both candle books. So I had been dabbling in candle magic a good part of last year, which was great because it kind of helped me in my low buy death year last year. And yeah, so candle magic, I started getting into that, doing little spells and rituals, and I was having results from it. So I kind of put it on hold like in January when we came here, and that sucks because I was starting to also do a lot of ancestral healing work for myself last year. And that kind of curtailed, your ancestors are always with you. They're always with you. But doing like mindful things and being intentional about the connection was where I was at. And then that was disrupted with this move. So I have now started getting back into it. And I just looked at some books. I have one book that's on Kindle. I'm too lazy. I'm sorry, guys. And I'll list the names of the books and their authors in the description box. I may have already done that. The Book of Candle Magic by Madame Pamita. I read that book. I mean, it's like a reference book, so you can just go through it or, look at the chapter and see what you want to refer to. I was able to read it quickly. It's not a hard read. And I'm going to explore candle magic by just intuitively going with what I know, working with people who are experienced with it, and then reading a whole variety of books on it. That's how I'm going to approach this. The other one I had is the Llewellyn's Candle Magic for Beginners by, what's his name? Richard Webster. So I had that book for a while now, and now I'm actually finally reading it. So yeah, sorry, I'm just looking at, oh my goodness. There's someone speaking in Spanish. And I don't know why it's not updating on StreamYard, which is kind of annoying. This is why people need a moderator. But I see your comment, Lynn, about candle magic is so good and very self-empowering. It sure was. Like, I had a huge audit review that I was doing for a county before I start working for the state. And it was like our largest county, Los Angeles, and there was like so many people involved with it. It was kind of intimidating, and I used candle magic to get that baby done. And so from there, I was hooked. I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. I'm gonna keep trying this, and I started having a lot of results. And you're right, it's super. Even if you're like don't want to believe in magic or what have you, just still trying to understand why this is not updating here. It's weird. It's still very intentional. So you could still be like someone who's into manifestation, law of attraction, and understand like I'm doing focused intention on this thing that that I am manifesting here. So even at that level, you can glean and gain something from it. But so yeah, those two books, those are the books. Like I said, I wish I had like some reference where I could, oh, here it is, but it's readily available, both of them on Amazon. And if you can, buy it from your local bookstores. I don't know what the situation is and wherever you are, but let's try to support the local businesses first. And then, because I bought the Richard Webster one, it was like the first or second edition of that book at my favorite bookstore, and it was secondhand. So there you go. Okay, so, and Kindle for, what's her face? The first book I referenced, Madame Pamita. It's on Kindle because I'm trying to save space. So there you go. Moving on to crystals. Let me see. Oh, hi. Oh my goodness, Simon. Hello. The Hermit's Cave is in the house. Sorry, guys. I'm looking at, I have to look at the chat here that's on the phone. So if I'm looking all over the place, please don't mind me. I'm getting it together. So, because I'm realizing I don't know how to make the StreamYard update. Okay, so moving on to the crystal. The crystal of the month for me for April was rose quartz. I know a lot of people are like, oh, that's just mundane, schmundane. But for me, it's not. Like a lot of my friends, especially my single friends, were having a really emotionally hard time this month. And even though I didn't do readings for them per se, but there was a couple of like arguments going on between mutual friends. It was just really an interesting time for friends. And my clients were also, it was just a lot of emotional stuff going on. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need I need to believe in love. I need to make sure that I'm staying grounded in love, in that loving space. So I had her with me. I don't know if you can see it. I had her with me the entire time. I actually have a lot more rose quartz, but for some reason it's hiding from me. Where are the rest of my stones? I feel like I think I have a bag of them. Nice big pieces, but I sold a lot of the bigger pieces of my crystal collection because obviously it's just not practical to ship those or drag them in suitcases because I have a funny story and I've already shared it with you guys about the crystals traveling on the plane. So anywho, so yeah, rose quartz was it for me. What stones were you all working with? Oh yes. Oh yes. Thank you, Lynn. See, I wish I could like refresh this, but I'm afraid to do anything with the computer part because I want to be able to show you all my wonderful comments. Lynn is right. So she said alongside oils or, and she's talking about candle magic. She said here, candle magic is great. You can charge up your hands, like rubbing them and touching the candles with the intention to boost it up. Yep, and that's exactly what I did and enjoyed. When I was in the States, oh, and then she mentioned something else before I go on. She says, alongside oils or carving in the candle. And Lynn also has a great YouTube channel, by the way, guys. So check out Lynn, the Tarot Witch. So yes, I like to carve and inscribe. I take like that right here. I forgot what you call it. What do you call it when it's like a plume, right? That's not really a plume, but I take this and I use this. It's kind of difficult, but I like it. It feels very like for me. But I carve on the candle the intention. So if it was a money draw spell, it's going to be the manifestation that I'm trying to make, and I draw on it. You get the oils, so you're dressing it with the little herbs and oils. I was buying oils. That's what I was going to mention. I was buying already pre-made oils in the States because, hey, somebody else made it. And at the time, I was working a full-time job and running my business on the side and my family and whatever. So, yeah, if somebody made some oils, I would buy them. But out here, I couldn't really justify shipping stuff because my husband was starting to have fits about, well, tea shipments. So for oils, I just started working with what I had here, and that made it even more special. So she's right. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, yay, yay. I'm so happy that you're, okay, so Jen Science to Soul, Tarot and Transformation. Another great channel. I'm still obsessed with that quartz you have, Kim, but I can't remember what it's called. Oh, I want to say not alligator. Could it be alligator? My alligator quartz? I don't know. Wait, which one you would be obsessed with? That or my Lemurian? I don't know. I guess these are the ones I'm obsessed with. So I don't know. Let me know. Okay, so Kristen Louise Tarot says, I just started buying crystals. I'm not sure how one works with them. I do actually have a series, a playlist that you can check out, and it's about crystals. And actually, I'm getting ready to record a video on my 2021 crystals that I've been they're readily available for those who want to maybe add to their crystal collection. They just want a good arsenal of crystals that work for them. And we all have our personal preferences, so you'll see people who have all sorts of opinions on it, but there's a general way you work with them. So I do have a playlist that you can check out. Wish I could remember to put that there. And I, I even have old videos, and I've talked about this before, that are unpublished from a year or two ago. And there's one that completes like a series that I did, and I'm going to go ahead and finally publish it because it's still information that's still relevant because it's about crystals. So there's a host of information on the web and in YouTube about how to work with crystals, but it's a whole nother thing. If you're into tarot, here, look out. Look out. Oh, yes. It was a type of animal. Okay, so yeah, this is my alligator celestial quartz. I'm obsessed with it too. It traveled with me, and it's about as big as I could really allow. Here's my raw fluorite. I had a bigger piece that I think I ended up giving to my son, because anything bigger was like not going to be able to travel, unfortunately. So those are the breaks sometimes. Okay, guys, we're making our way. We're moving forward. Let me look at the comments. Yes, yes. Oh, yes. Yes, a type of animal. That. Thank you for the clue. That was it. That was perfect. That's my baby. That's my boo right here. So I'm always looking also at stones that help me with my intuitive psychic abilities. So those are kind of the stones that I lean towards. Yes, I use like malachite, which also can do that, but malachite for me was more about my health and well-being, reproductive health, things like that. So there was only a few stones that I had more specific for physical well-being, but the most of them is all on my table because I'm trying to draw in all that high-powered intuitive energy and activate, that inside of me with these crystals here. But, that's just me. Everybody is called to use crystals for a whole variety of reasons. All right, Oracle and Tarot. Now, let's talk Oracle first. Let me reach over here. So the first Oracle that I want to talk about is the Wisdom of Natural Hair. I'm pretty sure an unboxing. Pretty sure it was an unboxing video. And here's the backs. It's like a larger Oracle size. It's glossy. I don't mind. It did. You guys, I can't even remember now if it traveled with me or not. I'm pretty sure it didn't, but now I can't remember. This is why I'm glad I record stuff, because I forgot. I used this for like the last couple of months as my altar deck. So once a week, I draw a card for myself, a message to work with. Let me show you some of them. And I might have to read them so you could see the message because I don't know how close it'll get. Ancient treasures for your hair. So it's a melanated deck of, people that look like me. Condition your hair with love. So infuse the situation with love. Condition your hair with love. Sometimes Black women, there was a time, at least for myself personally, where I was always battling my curly hair, like my kinky curly hair. Battle, right? And I would condition it and be like, I hope this helps, makes it straight. And so from the time I was like 7 or 8 years old to like my 30 something is when I became natural in 2015. My hair was straight. And so I wasn't conditioning it with love. And in fact, it started to thin out and fall out because I was like constantly straightening it, not so much anymore with chemicals, but then also with the flat iron. And then I would condition it, with these lackluster products. And so it just was not a good look. That's one way working with this deck. But no, you can look at another situation in someone's life, in my life, and say, oh, condition your hair with love, condition the situation with love. Maybe you're not approaching it from a loving heart space. Ancient Combs, Sacred Tools. So again, you can see how you could, like, okay, what sacred tools do I have at my disposal? Or if you want to go literal, but it's, you know, it says quench that thirst. It's in both English and French. There's no guidebook, but the creator does have a YouTube channel where she had all the meanings discussed. So I like this one, transformation. So like I have it on my altar here, and I just work with the messages each week, and yeah, it's quite special for me, you know. So there's that. Let's see what you guys were talking about. Okay, let's see. Oh, hello, Candy Soul and Soil. How are you? Let's see. Okay. Ooh, so when the Tarot Witch says, I've been collecting smoky quartz, moonstone, and labradorite. These are my crystals this year. Nice. I'm not gonna lie, I like all of them. I like everyone, especially labradorite. Especially, I got a lot of labradorite, and I brought quite a few pieces here too. Hello, blessed one. I like your name. It's cool. Okay, so that was the wisdom of natural hair, and yeah, it made its way down here, so clearly I really like it. All right, the next decks I'm going to talk about is, well, you guys have already known about this because I've seen unboxings even as recent as this morning. Chris Ann's The Sacred Creators Oracle. I ended up ordering the mass market. Here is the indie. Sadly, I don't have the indies guidebook and gorgeous box because that was too heavy to travel. But I did have the deck shipped. But guys, as much as I love the guidebook, and the box and this gorgeous matte gilding and the thick cardstock, I couldn't shuffle with it, so I wasn't using it as much as I would like. I had a feeling that if I got the mass market, similar to the experience I had with the light seers, I would use it more, and I was after the little guidebook because Chris Ann's writing is brilliant, and her intuitive prowess is great because for me, the deck just always gives me a message that I need. So I got this, a week or two ago? I can't remember. I didn't do an unboxing because I think at some point in the future, I might just do a little comparison video. I haven't decided yet, but there's probably enough of that going on YouTube right now. So it's like, here's the back. So look, let me do a comparison right now. I have to admit, I love the mass market. Okay. I wish they would reprint the light seers in this way. This is so much easier to shuffle, and it smells good, it feels good. It's so much better, Hay House, so much better to me. I don't know how you all feel about it, but the light seers tarot stock is a mess, but I love that deck so much. Okay, so here you go. Let's see. So you can see how much thicker. And I also babied this one too because I didn't want to mess up the gilding. So it just wasn't getting the use that I wanted. And then let's see. It's this thick. This is thick. Not the thickest that I have around, but it's pretty thick. I'm a ripple shuffler. And then this one's quite thinner, but I like it. Y'all, I've been using this so much, and just because I like the way it shuffles, the way it sounds, it's just like, oh my God, they got it right for a change. I'm so bad, guys. Ignore me, please. Oh my goodness, what up, Tracy? Thank you for joining the live. I'm so happy. Oh, my babe peeps are here. You guys, thank you. Thank you for coming along, party peoples. So yeah, here, So like I said, there's tons of unboxings of this deck. I won't bore you with that, but I would be remiss if I did not talk to you all about it. I would be remiss. And you know, some people need more artwork. I don't always need a deck that has artwork. Sometimes it could just have the key phrase or key word or something like that, and I'm good. On how it works in a reading for me is where I'm going with the readability. I mean, I would think you would be getting this type of deck to work with it and to journal with it or whatever the case. You know, you could be somebody who's like, oh, I like looking at black backgrounds, but I think it's the message in her gorgeous guidebook that we're after. So this is a miniature version, quite a miniature of the indie version guidebook, but it still packs a lot of good information. I do applaud Chris Ann if she had a hand in that, or Hay House if whoever made the decision. It's just enough information to work with, and I appreciate that. So that's the Sacred Creators Oracle. I was like, sorry y'all, I gotta get this deck. I know I said I was slowing down, but I already know that I was going to appreciate it because I appreciated the indie, and it has not disappointed. Okay. Oh my goodness, Lynn. So that's good to know. So you use it every day. Has that been everybody's experience that since they got the Sacred Creators Oracle? It's so empowering, and the way she writes, I'm like, I love it. I just love her style. So that's just me. All right. And last but not least, guess because I'm in the Northern Hemisphere and it's springtime, and I've been working with, a lot of herbal kind of decks so it makes sense that this one would come up. This is the Oracle of Essences, first edition. So let me see. This one also has gilding. I use this deck a lot. And did it come with me? Or did I have it shipped? I think it might have come with me. I don't know. Blur, y'all. Sorry. This was the card that jumped for my daily draw reading that's in the Facebook group today. It's the Malaluka. I'm mispronouncing that. Melaleuca for protection and adversity. And it's like a matte, and she's like, I think on her third edition, I want to say the creator is either Australian or from New Zealand, and so it's from down under, so the shipping is up there now. I'm not going to lie, the deck itself is very inexpensive, but the shipping is very expensive as well. So it's like not that, it's like pretty cheap for indie standards, but yeah, that shipping was like, because I looked just to see out of curiosity what edition she was on and, what's up with this deck. And then I saw the shipping. She has an Etsy shop, and I was like, another reason why decks have slowed down for me is I've had to be the one now to factor those costs in on indie decks. Tangerine, Gratitude, and Charisma. So this is my Oracle deck. I'm like, looking here. Okay. Helichrysum? Reassurance, subtle energies. So even, it has a guidebook. I'm sad I left the guidebook in the States. That might be something I asked my son's girlfriend to send me. I'm ready to hire her. I'm excited. So excited. Okay, so that was the Oracle of the Essences. I have unboxings of this deck, and I'm pretty sure I've talked about it in favorite videos in the past. I don't have an unboxing, and surprisingly enough, of the Sacred Creators indie version. I'm very shocked by that. But the Wisdom of Natural Hair, I know I've had an unboxing, so check them out if you want a full flip through. Tarot. Let's get this tarot party on the road. All right, so yes, the Hermit's Cave mentioned, and this is important, the Sacred Creators Oracle deck is very inexpensive. So that makes it so much easier to make that purchase because let me tell you, the indie was like, I did it and I was happy I did it, but I was like, oh, that was me getting my feet wet though. And then yeah, I ended up spending a lot more on decks since then. But when you got a hay house and you're able to buy it like mass market, it makes it a lot cheaper to get. And actually, y'all, I hate to say it, but I know probably I'm going to be using a lot more than the indie, just like the light seers. Just like I do pull the indie version down every now and then, but not like I'm using. Oh, it's working. Okay, good. Thanks, Hermit K, Simon. Thank you for joining me. I'm so happy you guys came today. All right, not too much longer, folks. I know, you're like, what is going on? It's my month in review. All right, so let's talk tarot. I'm only going to briefly discuss them because I've talked about this one ad nauseum. But I'm a person who likes to be honest about what I was working with, what was my real favorite thing. I mean, I could go and pull off some decks for you and say, oh yeah, this is the one I want to talk about. But no, I think I've shown you guys before in my planner, I track all the decks that I end up touching and using, even if I'm just looking at it and using it as a study deck or I'm working with it for client readings and things like that, it goes on here. So I look to see which ones have come up over and time again. And so yeah, that's how it gets decided on what goes in my monthly review. Herbcrafter's Tarot. Those who are in my Facebook group, at Abundant Life Tarot group, know how much I love this deck now. I was so uncertain about it when I first pre-ordered it a while back. I just didn't know, but something told me, girl, you need to get that deck. And I did get it. And then it sat on my shelf. Every now and then I pull it. I'm like, so pretty. I love it so much. I don't even know why I love it, but I love it. But then it just again sat on the shelf. And then I said, let me do a tarot study group where we can get to know it a bit better. And it'll be the deck that we focus in on for a few months. And this week, at the end of this week, we're announcing the next deck that we're going to be doing, tarot study group. It will be starting in June for the new deck. So yeah, I'm excited about that. But I'm announcing it at the end of this week. So stay tuned for that. But the Herbcrafter's Tarot. I still have, tomorrow, I'm going to publish the 7, 8s, and 9s and the 10s. There's 2 videos for those 2. And then I'm going to go into the Quartz and they'll be sprinkled throughout May. And then that's it. But I have a feeling I'm going to be using this deck and talking about it for months and months to come. Now that I've bonded with it the way that I have and trust the messages and trust myself with reading with this deck, yeah, it's the cat's meow. That's all I gotta say. Oh, well, thank you for asking, Blessed One, okay, hold on, look, it's finally working again, y'all. Hi, is it Angie D? Hello. Hi, Soul Whisperer. Welcome. You came on in here. Yay, it's nice for you to catch me on here. I'm so happy. I know we normally just chat in the comments, and I'm happy you're here. So, Blessed One, for the Tarot Study Group, really, I just have videos here. But I have it as a part of my Facebook group. And also, if you're not into Facebook, and that's okay, not everyone is, I get it. I have a website, abundantlifetarot.com, that I post content there. I try to sprinkle it in different spots, but the main study group activities are happening in the Facebook group, Abundant Life Tarot group. And so that's where it's happening. It's not a class. I record videos here, but I'm going to be getting input for how we're going to be delivering the next tarot study group. So I'll be asking my peeps over there in Facebook and the group, how do we envision this next go round to look, and then employ that employ those things into it. It's a lot of fun though. I fell in love with this deck because of my time with these great people, some of which are from that are here in the chat. So I just, yeah, thanks guys, because it's been incredible. Ooh, Mary Michelle, your greetings from Monterey Bay. My Northern California, Monterey Bay, is that, oh my God, oh my gosh. How's the weather? How's the weather out there? I miss it. I miss Monterey. It was a place that we would go to, my parents would take as a treat. We lived in the Bay Area I was born and raised there. And we would go to Monterey. It's the thing, go to Monterey or Santa Cruz. That was what we would do. Let my tea get cold. All right, so that's the Herbcrafter Tarot. And probably after this month in review, maybe not, this will probably be it for a while. I'm not going to tire you guys out anymore because it's been in the top contending tarot decks for the last couple of months. So I'm going to force myself to use a new deck and branch out. I certainly have enough to branch out with. All right, the next one is the Gaian Tarot. Now, the artist of the Herbcrafter's Tarot is the creator of the Gaian Tarot, and I have the first edition. I love the first edition, the Llewellyn edition. The subsequent editions, I think she still has ones like with this cardstock on her website, but it's pretty pricey. I almost paid that, but then I lucked up and found a first edition. It's one of those moments where you're hella glad, like that you were looking when you did, and then you found it, and you're like, oh my God, I found it. And it was the one deck that I was like, I would be willing to spend money on, but it had to be not the Schiffer Red Feather edition. That's too thick, too glossy, too big, and I don't want to trim. I'm lazy. Like, I don't feel like trimming the deck. I just want it to already be the way I wanted it to be. What I like about it, if you look, see how, I forgot what they call this type of treatment for art. You see that? You see how the little bunny is kind of coming out of the picture? There's a term for that, like how it just pops out of the picture. I love when tarot cards have that going on. Anna K's Lenormand, gorgeous, and it has that going on where it's like coming out to you, like you're part of the scene. So because I was learning the Herbcrafter's Tarot, I was pulling out the same cards. So if I had the Ace of Wands or the Ace of Fire from the Herbcrafter's Tarot, I would find that the Ace of Fire in the Gaian Tarot and look through it, both guidebooks, and then also compare it to my Smith-Waite. And so I would just kind of, you'll see that in the 10s. I didn't do it in the 7, 8s, and 9s, but I laid out all the 10s and went through them. I really like that video. You have to let me know what you think on that one. So to answer your question, Blessed One, it's not classes. You can sign up at the Facebook group. I usually link that there. And yeah, so if there's any classes though, and there will be classes in the future that I announce, I will definitely let you all know and make it easy for you to be able to sign up. So yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, which deck, Jen? I'm sorry. She said, I would love this deck on the wish list. Which one? I missed it. Okay. Oh, yes, Gaian Tarot. Uh-oh. I want to see this one. Yeah, I love the Gaian. That's my baby. It's my baby. Okay. Last but not least. This one, I'm a little sad because I left the guidebook and now I'm kicking myself because, I wish I would have brought the box, the whole thing. This is the Lua Tarot. It's one of my procurements last year. So let me move my little comments here. Last but not least, Marie Bento is she's a goddess to me with this creation. I don't have many black and white decks. I'm not really called to them. But this one, I always was called to it. I saw like her prototype deck. I think it was last year, not 2020, but 2019 when I went to the Northwest Tarot Symposium in Oregon. I saw the prototype and I was like, oh yeah, girl, here's the backs. I'm getting at it. So when I came back around in 2020, right before the pandemic, and like literally like a week or two before, it's like a week. No, it was like 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks before everything shut down. And I got lucky. And so she showed it to me. I was like, oh, yeah. As soon as it's ready to drop on pre-order, I'm ordering it. And I did. I'm grateful. And it did travel with me for sure. I know this in my suitcase to come here. I ranked my love of my decks based on are they still in my parents' house? That's 3. Number 2, were you shipped here and it took about 3 months to get here? Or number 1. Well, number 1s are the ones that actually get on the plane with me. So there you go. Here's 2 of coins. It's amazing. The stock to shuffle it is so like, I'm one of those ones that drives my husband crazy. I just like to shuffle and just watch TV and just do this. Sorry, y'all. Like, this is what I do. But yeah, the Lua Tarot. So I was pulling for this one, like pulling it out, looking at the artwork, throwing a few cards for myself over certain situations that came up and how I want to navigate and blah, blah, blah. I'm tempted to even give it a go in client readings, but I haven't decided yet. I try with my indie decks not to always use them. I know that's like contrary, like people are like, well, they're sturdy, but I baby them. Hence why I have no business always getting them. Because I want decks that I can use. That's where I'm at in my collecting journey right now. Oh my goodness. Hi Essence 818. Is that your area code? That's no, it's SoCal. I thought it could totally be not even your area code. You're like, oh, let's see, let me do this. Yes, I love the Gaian Tarot, but prefer the Llewellyn cardstock. You and me both. And that is why I was like, no, I'm not doing the shipper. I almost did the shipper, and then I was like, who am I kidding? Again, that's going to sit on the shelf, and I don't want that. I knew I was going to work with this deck, and I do use it for client readings from time to time. But it's mostly readings for myself. That I'll say. Hello, let's see. We got folks coming in. So, let's see. Oh, okay. Okay, nice, Mary Michelle. Awesome weather right now. It's a beautiful time of year. I already know. I'm already knowing it's a beautiful time in Monterey Bay. Beautiful, beautiful time of year. All right, I'm missing out on some of the comments, but that's it, you guys. I know this video went on forever. Hey, Neem. Hey, Neem. So that's it. That was my month in review. It's been quite an exciting month. Like, I'm taking baby steps on driving. This is not even tarot related or car related or magical stuff, but it's magic for me because I had such anxiety about driving here, and this is the longest I've ever not really was driving. My husband drives, or I catch a ride, or I walk, and I've been slowly but surely getting out there, and I'm enjoying my time in Spanish class, and I found a metaphysical, like quantum healing group that meets up, and that's like right up my alley. So beautiful things happen in April. Some friendships out here deepened, and some revelations about old friendships that I have also come to light. But it's not bad. Awareness is always good, and I just love where I'm at right now. It's such an adventure, but I needed that adventure, and so April was great. And let's see what's up with May. Let's see how May goes. I hope you all have an amazing May, amazing next month. And I want to thank you all for taking the time out of your busy schedules to spend some time with me today. And yeah, as I stumble my way through YouTube Live. YouTube Live. So that's it. Great to catch you too, my dear. Thank you. And yeah, I'll see you guys around. You know you will see me putting up some sort of video. It's coming soon. Good. Look out. All right, guys. Take good care of yourselves. I'll see you around. Thanks so much for joining me.